Hey, everybody. This is my good friend and extraordinary musician and singer, Michelle Willis. And Michelle is in Brooklyn. You're in Brooklyn,
Exactly.
yeah?
Mhm.
But you look, your whole thing, what you got going on there is kind of psychedelic, I have to say.
Where am I?
Where are, okay, so you're quarantined like the rest of us,
Mhm.
but I want you to tell me. I feel like what you've got going there is partly a product of what's going on right now and how we're all
Mhm.
hashtag at home together. So tell us about your incredible background there.
So this is from a pamphlet from a painting at it's I think her name is Hilma F. Klint. She's a
Yeah, sure.
artist. They did a big piece about her at the Guggenheim, and it's amazing. But a week ago, my friends and I, who we kind of like semi regularly have this breakfast club that we meet up in Brooklyn here and just talk about life. And we couldn't do that, so we decided to do it over Zoom. And in the middle of that uh, conversation, there's four of us. We realized that we could do this, that we could change the background using a photo on our phone. So this is probably the most PG or like
Oh,
nice version of the backgrounds that we had. There was a lot of not like racy or anything, just like very
statement,
silly.
statement
I
piece.
Yeah, I had one background where it was just me wearing this like bright, vibrant green face mask this photo where my face was like this close. Anyway,
I love it. I love it. Technology, I'm telling you.
technology.
But yeah, endless possibilities. So I mean, I know who you are. I have been a fan of yours for a long time. In fact, I was a fan of yours before you became a friend.
Mhm.
Yours is, I think, well, not I think, I know, absolutely one of my very, very favorite voices anywhere in all time, for all time. And
Thank you.
yeah, no, I'm genuine. And anyone who, and hopefully people will go and listen to your solo stuff. Those who don't already know you, anyone who hears you, I'm sure will agree. You have just this golden, warm voice. But the dynamic range and the actual vocal range
Mhm.
is like, I mean, enviable for somebody like me. I remember hearing you live with Royal Wood in Toronto at Danforth Music Hall,
Right?
and it was just, I mean, he's amazing too, and I love his music.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed the show, but it was hard. I kind of didn't take my eyes off of you between your singing and your piano playing, the groove and the heart and soul, just emanating from your voice and your playing were totally, just, I don't even, I'm at a loss for words. I was just wrapped in your voice and your
Thank
piano
you.
playing. And so I know I'm not the only one. And you, as a result of your incredible musicianship, and sweet, sweet spirit, you have been scooped up by, David Crosby. You're part of a project that he put together. So I'd love you to tell us a little bit about that band.
Sure. Also, I've always been a huge fan of you, clearly. And I remember going to what was the courthouse in
Oh,
Toronto.
great.
Remember that? It was like an old courthouse turned cafe club for a brief minute in Toronto history. And you were there playing with Larnell
Oh,
and I think George Kohler.
yeah.
And I was so floored. And I remember talking to Larnell afterward and just being like, yeah, I don't really know what to do with my life. And he was like, talk to Lila.
Oh,
She knows what she's doing. She's the queen of all this stuff. Um, so all of that right back to you. So Crosby um, has two bands. Yeah. So the first instance that I met him was doing the Snarky Puppy Family Dinner record, where there was a whole group of different people from all over the world being invited to collaborate on that album. And we were all hanging out together for a week. So that was the first time I met Cros. And yeah,
your BFF now. It's like amazing.
it's like it's only when I watch videos. Someone recently sent me a video of Crosby, Stills and Nash
Yeah.
playing at Farm Aid, and I saw they're singing, and like their pitch is so good, and their voices are so strong.
I
And
know.
this is in the '90s, and it's only when I see that I'm like, God damn, that's my friend.
No, it's ridiculous. And I mean, you're in his
He's
current
so amazing.
group with Becca Stevens, and
And
Mike
Mike.
Lee, and
Yeah.
the four of you together are harmonizing, and it's like a contemporary version of what they were doing back then and before. And what's the name of the project? Can you tell us the name of that project?
So that project, thank you. That project is called Lighthouse.
Yeah.
And so that's the four of us. Now we are writing together as well. So we made a record recently where we wrote all the songs on it and produced it together. And it's really beautiful, that relationship. Like there's so many interweaving kind of dynamics going on there, with all of us having such a deep respect and love for Cros, and him seeing in us this youthful energy and something that, like an access point, I think, from our perspective, and it's there's a lot going on, and it's very healthy. I feel grateful for that. And then he has a second band called Sky Trails, and that is sort of a continuation of a group that he had also, I believe, in the '90s, called CPR, Crosby, Pivar, Raymond, and that was with his son James and Jeff Pivar and Stevie DeStanislaw. So now Sky Trails is like that band plus myself and Miley's, who is a bass player from Estonia. Yeah. So those are his two bands.
I love it. I have to just quickly fill you in. My son is in the room here with me. He keeps sneaking in because I think he's magnetically drawn to you. But if you've been seeing me go,
oh no.
So I'm just gonna, Josh, we're actually recording right now. Hello, everybody. My son in the background. This is like real life right here. Yes, go ask Dad, okay? Anyway, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up before Josh totally hijacks our little interview. But I was just saying to Michelle before we went live recording here, that Josh heard Michelle's performance. She live streamed to the world from her little apartment in Brooklyn on Saturday, March the 21st. And it was so sweet. It was just beautiful. And, I mean, hundreds of people, probably thousands, hundreds were commenting, of musicians and music fans around the world, were just engaged. And so I feel like that's a nice segue to you and your music. We've talked about David Crosby and your project with him, but tell us about your solo projects. I know that he's actually involved on your solo stuff as well. And you made an incredible sort of multimedia project with him. I feel like it was a few months ago now, at least, but I'd love you to tell us a little bit about it and when we can look forward to hearing and seeing that.
Yeah, when will we hear and see that? I don't even know these days, but yeah. Hi, Josh. How you doing, buddy? So a couple years ago, I decided to embark on a double record. So there was two portions of it, and actually Crosby had a big impact on making this decision, because I was listening to these live recordings from a show that I had done in 2016, and there was something really special about them. And part of me wanted to release them, but the other part of me was like, I was playing a Nord piano sample. Like, I can't release that as a record. But anyway, the energy of that performance was really strong, and I played it for Cros one night on the bus. We were heading somewhere, probably 2 a.m, and he responded so emphatically, just like, you
Oh,
have to release this. This is so strong, and this is
wow.
something that only you do. This is so you. And the more I thought about that, it really, it gave me such a big lift, because up until that point, I had just been kind of holding all of my stuff and not knowing how to take the next step to engage in it, because I was so busy with his bands,
Mm.
you know, those two touring bands plus Becca's band, which tours quite a lot. Um,
Becca Stevens.
Becca
Yeah.
Stevens, yeah. And between those three projects, I was never home, and when I was home, I just was exhausted, as I know you can understand.
Totally.
Um, so it it not only gave me a person who I really, really respected, who believed in me and was like, "What are you sitting on this for?"
Mhm.
um, it gave me that lift, but yeah. Anyway. So from that, I decided that I would make a record where we did the same 10 songs recorded in two ways. So um, we would do a live version in Toronto, surrounded by, you know, what's my like home community. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and find a really, you know, character space that felt special to be in, and filmed the whole thing, recorded it, and had Crosby come in and guest on a couple of songs, and
Mhm.
have my original band. So we did that. That was a show that you're referring to. So that was in October of 2019. And yeah, we recorded it all and filmed it all. And it was crazy special and crazy involved. And I'm very, very proud of that.
Oh,
Um, so then the other side of the record is that we're doing the same 10 songs but recorded in studio here in New York with the band that I've been playing with for the last 4 years since I've lived here. And everything is super crafted, and a
mhm.
lot more attention to and playfulness within the production sandbox.
Yeah.
So making the arrangements really tight, and parts very specific, and you know, I don't want it to sound clean or like overproduced in any way, but I wanted to give those songs the opportunity to have a more crafted approach, whereas live, my like juice is for things to just be so free and go wild,
Yeah.
you know, but that doesn't translate the same way when you're in
Mhm.
studio. For me personally, like, my experience has not been that it translated well. So um yeah, that's the record, and we're so close. I mean, the whole live record is mixed now. A lot of the videos are done. The studio version is uh we've tracked everything. We're just now waiting on background vocals, which we were in the midst of doing when all this coronavirus hit.
Mm.
um
Wow.
so yeah, we're close. We're coming down the pipeline, and I ah, everything in me just wants to
Mhm.
um, finish it and put it out and make another record within the next year. I already have all all the songs for the next one, and I just
Cool.
more than anything, I just want to tour it.
Oh, that time will come. And I
Yeah,
know, you and I have both, as Canadians, been beneficiaries of Canada Council for the Arts,
huge.
Factor.
Yeah,
I think maybe because you're in the US now, I don't know, I know you have access to that funding because they're awesome in that they continue to embrace projects by Canadians all around the world.
yeah.
I think is the right move.
Mm.
And so I anticipate that you will tour this music when the time is right and the dust has settled on this whole COVID thing. You will tour the music far and wide, and you will have, the continued support of not only your ever growing fan base, but I believe,
Mm.
those organizations that have supported you to date. Um, I can't wait to hear that music.
Mm.
I got a little
Okay.
taste just of, some of your writing again and your performing. You did a couple covers as well, but it was just, I mean, it's incredible. And you play the pump organ, and you play the Rhodes, and you play Whirly, and you play the piano, and you're beat up out of an upright piano that sounded so good. It sounded like Aretha, you know, in the 60s or something. It was just incredible. So lastly, just because I want to let you go, and thank God my husband came up and rescued our interview. Joshua was threatening to start playing his keyboard. It was like, Mom, play now.
Let her know that I play too.
So Josh closed the door, or Ben closed the door. But anyway, where can people find you?
I'm on all the things. I'm on iTunes and Spotify.
Do you have a website, michellewillis.com?
michellewillis.ca. michellewillis.com is a choral conductor from Boston.
You know what's so funny? I got a great premiere for a recent single in Parade magazine, and I tagged Parade everywhere, just thinking, okay, that's like, I went for the thing because Parade is kind of an iconic publication, so I thought it was the one that had the most followers. And then when somebody from my team said, "You realize you just tagged an underwear company?" Well, that makes things really interesting.
Welcome to the internet. Yeah, I mean, you got to get your followers from all walks of life.
Exactly.
You know, reach out.
So michellewillis.ca. People, you need to go there. She is one of the exquisite voices of our time, and again, I think for all of history, and just a quirky delight of a and follow her everywhere. Instagram is where I think you do most of your posting. I'm gonna find that green screen up so I can throw up something that will make
you got to get it. It's gonna change your life.
You're awesome, Michelle.
You're awesome. I can't wait for everyone to be digging into your record.
Thanks, darling. You take care. Okay, hang in.
Okay, you too. Okay,
bye.